From the home confines of Whitehouse Field in Harwich, Massachusetts, the Harwich Mariners return to their home field for the first time in 4 days as they take on the Brewster Whitecaps for the first time on the season and shoot for their first 3-game win streak on the season. And with that, we welcome you into tonight's game broadcast here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Wyatt Kopelman and my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, as we're delighted to have you aboard for this evening. And Devin, just considering what Brewster brings, what Harwich brings, you look at two teams fighting for top spot in that Cape Cod East Division.
Yeah, it's been a fun start to the season. These are the only two teams that have beat the Cotuit Kettleers, which is funny enough, the best team in the league. So it should be a competitive one. Harwich has scored 22 runs in their last 2 games, so it should be a good one. We're looking forward to seeing that offense really explode. And Shimoleski gave you 6 strong innings in his last start. Excited to see what he does again here today.
Shimoleski, the Princeton product, taking his final warm-up tosses here. The southpaw, native of Massachusetts as well, has an opportunity to play in front of some home faithful this season. Devin, you consider what he's going to bring here against this Brewster lineup, which we'll bring you right now without further ado. Leading off, the third baseman, number 3, Dylan Hoy. Batting second, the left fielder, number 1, Trevor Austin of Missouri. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 24, Ike Irish, the freshman of Auburn. Batting fourth, the cleanup man, the right fielder of Florida State, number 7, Jaime Ferrer. Batting fifth, another Florida State Seminole outfielder, the center fielder, number 35, James Tibbs. Batting sixth, the shortstop of NC State, number 6, Peyton Green. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 31, Dylan Leach. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 42, Joe Stella. And rounding out the starting 9 here, the second baseman at number 39, Mason Wright. It's a breezy evening here once again in Harwich. 64 degrees, cloudy with winds blowing east-southeast at 6 miles per hour here at first pitch. The shadows just extending across the infield, not a cloud too far in sight here. Shimoleski taking his final warm-up tosses. And Devin, you look at Brewster getting over a couple of early losses. Harwich taking that 12-1 loss against Wareham last week. Really seems to be bouncing back strong with that 9-4 win, particularly against Cotuit last night.
Yeah, the resilience has been very admirable. We won't get too much into it as we're going to get underway here, but they were down 4-0 in the blink of an eye, and then they rattled off 9 runs, powered by a huge performance from Seaver King.
Shimoleski set to face the left-hander in Dylan Hoy as he digs in from the left side. Shimoleski rocks and fires, bunt laid down. Shimoleski off the mound. He has to spin, throw on a first, and it's in time. A bang-bang play over at first to start off the game with first pitch dialing in at 6:30 p.m. Shimoleski with an interesting and an acrobatic play as well off the mound as the leadoff man is gone here for Brewster.
Yeah, Dylan Hoy might have been safe. That's a really tough pill to swallow to start the game if you're Brewster. A perfect bunt got it right in that awkward no-man's-land area, and Shimoleski had to make a tough throw. Bang-bang play. Harwich reaps the benefits of that one.
So Hoy, the Marist College product, retired on the 1-3 ground out as Trevor Austin watches one outside. Shimoleski in his second start on the season gave up 2 earned runs last time, as Devin mentioned, was 6 innings all the while. Here's the pitch. Lofted out towards right field. It's down for a base hit, and that's going to force Austin with a wide turnaround first. Obi trying to get it, and he's going to reach diving in safely. So a 1-out base hit here for Trevor Austin, the Missouri product, at 5'10", 188, using his speed to his advantage, and that forces Shimoleski out of the stretch with the man in scoring position.
Yeah, he just dumped it into right field. Nice piece of hitting. Doesn't have to always be crushed to be extra bases, and great speed showed off that time by Trevor Austin to be able to get into second. Could have went in there standing. The throw didn't even make it there.
Brewster team hitting .265 this season, 72 hits. The first pitch to Ike Irish is fouled away to the left side. Irish, the standout designated hitter, as well as a freshman at Auburn, someone who has really cemented himself at the top of the lineup at Auburn this past season. Hit .361 for a 34-23 Auburn team in his freshman year. Earned freshman All-American honors after batting in the 3-hole under Butch Thompson. 0-1, served out towards center field, ranging back Humphrey. Camps under, makes the catch, and no sacrifice hit here. There's 2 away here in the first. Time to set the Harwich defense here at 5-3 on the season. The Mariners align in the field here as follows. From left to right in the outfield, Jones, Humphrey, and Obi. On the infield corners, Culpepper and Scannell. Middle infield at short, Camarillo. At second, King. Ken coming off a dominant night last night. And the man catching here tonight for Tom Shimoleski, the left-hander out of Princeton, the UNC Wilmington Seahawk in Brian Arntz. There's 2 away here. No score in the top of the first here from Whitehouse Field. The man on second in Trevor Austin. Shimoleski deals one, and it's roped down the right field line, and it's going to just bounce foul. That was close once again after a quick slicer that time from Trevor Austin and out to go. And you consider that would have been Brewster's first aggressive run scored on the game and really has no issues in getting them down the line thus far.
Mariners really caught a break there. That one missed the foul line by maybe a foot and a half. If so, it would have been extra bases and the lead for the Brewster Whitecaps. Very similar start to what happened last night in Katuitt if that had happened.
Jaime Ferrer at 6'1", 222, the sophomore of Florida State. Hit .308 this season for the Seminoles of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Kept a strong presence in his at-bats for Florida State. 42 RBIs as he looks to translate that RBI production here. 0-1, smash foul. It's going to go to 0-2 here. Someone who has certainly given himself a lot of continuity since he got to Florida State. Devin Ferrer had the 20-game hitting streak that marked the 17th longest in school history at Florida State this year, despite the team struggling in the ACC. The 0-2, chopped over towards the right side. Scannell takes himself to the bag. He steps on for the final out of the inning. Brewster tacks on the game's first hit with a one-out double, but all the while, Harwich able to prevent any damage on the board for Chmielewski. 4 to the plate, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. On to the home half of the first after this break here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Just a hit across for Brewster without a run in the top of the first against Harwich starter Tom Chmielewski as Harwich comes up for the first time here tonight at Whitehouse Field, returning home after a 2-game road trip. Leading off, the center fielder, number 36, Jacob Humphrey of UMass Lowell. Batting second, the second baseman, number 25, Seaver King, now of Wake Forest. Batting third, the Kansas State product. At third base, number 31, Kalen Culpepper. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 32, Hunter Fitzgerald. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 27, Kennedy Jones. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 30 of Texas A&M, Ali Camarillo. Batting seventh, the first baseman of Princeton, number 10, Matt Scannell. Batting eighth of UNC Wilmington. Tonight's catcher, number 11, Brian Arndt. Rounding out the starting 9, the Duke product at right field, number 24, Devin Obie. Going up against Samuel Garcia here for the Brewster Whitecaps. Garcia coming in to this one looking for a win. The senior of High Point and native of Charlotte, North Carolina. Went 2 earned runs, 5 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts in 3 innings in a 4-2 win against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as he pumps and deals the first pitch too high to Jacob Humphrey for ball number 1. Beautiful night for baseball here. 2 southpaws going at it here for Brewster and Harwich. 1-0 goes inside, and it's a called strike. It goes to 1-1 here.
A little late strike call that time from Mike Hinojosa. First time we've seen him ump in the Mariners game.
It was 9 unanswered runs last night at Lowell Park for Harwich, despite falling behind early. It was a very sound game from Seaver King, hitting behind Jacob Humphrey here tonight. Just underway here in the bottom of the first. 1-2 skips inside, and it's going to hit the cleat of Humphrey from what it looked like. Bringing you today's umpiring crew. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate, Mike Hinojosa. The base umpires at first base, Mark Chamberlain. At third base is Stephen Williams, as Harwich has its leadoff batter aboard as the game's first hits batsman. And that brings up Seaver King, the man who has certainly been sparking the lineup here for Harwich. It's been an excellent past couple of days here for King. First pitch he sees, he swings and misses for strike one. You consider the momentum he's created for himself in the lineup. Former Wingate product has done an excellent job of just being able to move runners around in addition to hitting that solo home run last night. His first on the season. It was Harwich's fourth. Quick check back over at first.
But King now leading the league in hits with 10. His average up above 400 to 417. Had a 4-hit game yesterday. Should have been 5 if it weren't for a really great catch out in center field. And he also walked.
Lines it back up the middle, through for a base hit past the diving glove of right. Jacob Humphrey will stop right at second there. RBI, or rather a hit here for Seaver King, and there are 2 on here for Harwich to get started in the first.
Picks up right where he left off. Lines that one right into center field. Really nice piece of hitting. Had to muscle it out there as he got jammed up a little bit, but really nice little rally the Mariners are putting together. No outs and runners on first and second.
Bringing you today's defensive alignment for the Brewster Whitecaps. From left to right in the outfield, Austin, Tibbs, and Ferrer. On the infield corners, Hoy and Stella at third and first. At short and second, Green and right. The battery mate to Garcia tonight is Leach. Runners on first and second here. And that forces Garcia to work out of the stretch as he deals a first pitch strike on that inner half to Kalen Culpepper. Has a 7-game on-base streak here. Has also scored a run in each of the last 3 games. Hunter Fitzgerald behind him here in the lineup. Harwich's team-high hitting streak. 0-1 served out towards left center field. Running in is going to be Tibbs as he makes the catch, and both runners will stay stationed there. There's 1 away here in the first.
Yeah, just missed that one. Didn't get the barrel of the bat on it. Really good pitch to hit, and Culpepper just a little excited there, and it's a soft fly out to center. Almost was a lot of trouble. Would have been interesting to see the force play if that ball had fallen in, but Tibbs tracking it down and saving us all the chaos.
Harwich already with a hit on the board here, trying to ignite that hitting power similar to last night. 11 hits on the road for the Mariners against a team with one of the best ERAs in the Cape Cod League this season. The first pitch, a slider low and away to Hunter Fitzgerald.
Not going to be much easier to hit against this Brewster team. Opponents hitting just a measly 200 against the Whitecaps this season.
Harwich team hitting .302 at home this season. It's going to be the story of the game, how the team batting average fares against the Brewster ERA as he spikes that one away. A Harwich team with 2 straight wins after a dominant 12-2 victory, the second win of the season at Eldridge Park. The momentum carrying forward. I asked Harwich right fielder Lorenzo Carey about it before the game, and he just said that it's been all about taking that chip on that shoulder, carrying it as far as you can go. You never know how far it'll take you, especially with it still being so early in the season. That one just misses low to Hunter Fitzgerald, the Old Dominion product. And speaking of hitting streaks, he has been quite versatile in the lineup here for 20th year head coach Steve Englert. His teammate Jacob Gomez picked up the win last night as well. 2 on, still scoreless here. Taken high, it goes to 2-2. Pretty tough pitch to lay off there. Kind of a hanging slider that you can almost see the seams on there. Oh, it's second Humphrey on first King here, still 1 away. The 2-2, tapped over towards the right side. Right gets it to second for 1. The throw on to first, not in time.
Not exactly sure what Joe Stella was doing there. He jumped off the bag and didn't stretch to make the ball. I'm not really sure why he did that. Might have been an easy 4-6-3 double play. It looked like he jumped off the bag. What did you see, Wyatt?
Clearly wasn't on the bag by any means, and there's a clear read for the first base umpire, Mark Chamberlain. So runners on the corners here for Harwich. Now Humphrey on third, Fitzgerald on first on the fielder's choice. So that sets up Kennedy Jones here after having a grand slam in his last game in the lineup here. That 10-run victory at Orleans. After Carrier's 3-run home run, he's out of the lineup today, but Jones back in. Grand slam, Harwich's first on the season. That further padded Harwich's lead late at Eldridge Park. As he watches one inside, it's 0-2 here. Big spot here for Jones to try and stretch across a run first for Harwich.
Yeah, Mariners with 4 bombs in their last 3 games. The only unfortunate thing is none of them have come at Whitehouse. All on the road, 1 at YD, 2 at Orleans, and 1 in Cotuit.
0-2, swung on and missed. First strikeout of the night here for Garcia as the inning comes to a close. Harwich bringing 5 to the plate and scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 2 on base. Scoreless going into the second here from Whitehouse Field. Harwich Mariners baseball here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. On to the top of the second here from Whitehouse Field. Harwich and Brewster scoreless in their first meeting on the season. Tom Chmielewski, the Princeton product, back on the mound here in his second start on the season. Due up here for Brewster, James Tibbs, Peyton Green, and Dylan Leach. Back in the first, Brewster getting the game's first hit on a one-out double from Trevor Austin. Unable to do anything with it. Samuel Garcia was able to get out of the first unscathed, the senior of High Point, as Chmielewski deals it high above the letters for ball number 1 here to Tibbs. Florida State product at 6'0", 200. Hitting 200 on the season here for the Whitecaps. Watches it down the middle, and it's going to be 1-1. Now with Devin, he just hit 259 against Southpaws compared to 372 against right-handers for the Seminoles this season. We'll see how he fares here against the lefty and Chmielewski, looking for that win on the mound here tonight. He was one of Florida State's primary power hitters, however, as he chops over towards the right side.
Yeah, this season hasn't really been able to carry it over into Brewster just yet. Does have the home run, but batting just a measly 200.
Florida State team that was in its first season under its new head coach in Link Jarrett. Skied out towards shallow center field. Left the outfield grass, Camarillo. He makes the catch. And there's one away here in the second. 3 straight retired for Chmielewski.
Starting to find that rhythm early, very similar to the other start we saw out of him, in which he hit some turbulence early on, was able to pitch out of it, found his control, and once he gets locked in, he is pretty unhittable.
Well, Brewster has a team ERA of 3.93. Chmielewski looking for a strong outing here tonight as he deals it high and outside to Peyton Green. Middle infielder of NC State, just wrapped up his sophomore season there. Hit 274 with 45 RBIs.
Yeah, and Peyton Green actually had a glass of water in Harwich last year. 3 at-bats for the team, just played 1 game before he was released.
I did notice that earlier today. Now, would you consider or classify that as a glass of water or the cup of coffee that is stereotyped kind of in the major leagues? 1-1 taken inside. What would you say?
I don't know, glass of water.
It's glass of water, sparkling or still?
Still.
Still, okay. 16 multi-hit games for Green this season for an NC State squad that went to the ACC tournament. 2-1 outside. Now, Chmielewski seeing his first 3-ball pitch here. He's gone with the fastball thus far, now trying to get the signs here. A Harwich team that has fared well over the last 2 games on the road in holding teams to below 5 runs. 3-1, broken bat as it's flared out towards second base. King has no problem with the sun that time. Is there a 2-way here in the second?
Yeah, that sun's definitely going to be a factor, though. As soon as it starts to set here at Whitehouse, it just all of a sudden becomes a serious problem for people on the right side of the field. Everybody seems to have sunglasses going and are battling it well, but definitely could be a factor later on in the ball game.
Sun gradually setting here at Whitehouse Field. Long summer nights certainly would be dark about 6 runs from now. That brings up Dylan Leach here as he works with nobody on and 2 away. Chops it over towards the left side. Camarillo gets it on the ground. Fires across, and it's in time. 1-2-3 job for Tom Shimoleski, the Princeton product. After facing 5 in the first, sends Brewster down in order going into the bottom half of the second. No score here from Whitehouse Field on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Samuel Garcia, the left-hander of High Point, back on for his second inning of work here from Whitehouse Field. Scoreless between Harwich and Brewster. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Doback here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. You consider what Tom Shimoleski got with the 1-2-3 job back here in the second. That's certainly going to establish that continuity that you're going to need trying to go for that scoreless start here today.
Yeah, no, a very encouraging sight, especially for the manager. I mean, he went 6 strong last time, and I'm sure he's ready to go this time. Tom, a warrior, a gamer, and him finding this control and being able to get ground ball outs and soft flies, that's the Tom Shimoleski that was at Princeton last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen throughout the rest of his outing here.
Harwich coming into today at 5-3, a 4.03 ERA. Team that has seen the pitch counts fluctuate at times this season, pitching 67 innings thus far. On the first pitch to Ali Camarillo, a called strike on the outer half. We're underway in the bottom of the second. Shimoleski out of Princeton, 0-1. Check swing, the appeal down to first. Mark Chamberlain says no. And for Shimoleski, with a career ERA of just under 6, going to see how he can keep that pitch count to a minimum here tonight as he tries for that continuity to carry forward. As meanwhile, Camarillo will have to protect here. Camarillo, 3 of his last 12, 2 walks, 2 runs in 3 games as he swings and misses on a breaking ball low. The second strikeout here for Garcia.
Back-to-back at that, and he's really started to settle in ever since that nice play to take a base hit away from Culpepper. He's found himself kind of easing in. Sometimes that's all it takes for these starters. Just they got to get a feel. You know, it's a big stage, a lot of scouts, but they're college baseball players, and both of them seem to be settling down. We'll see if that lasts.
And somewhat the case last night as well for Tim Noon, making his second start on the season. Harwich scoring those 9 unanswered runs once the Harwich pitching began to limit the threat of the Cotuit lineup. 1-0 to Scannell, swung on and missed.
Scannell, a big hit yesterday with the bases loaded. Hit a double down the line and chase in 2. He had a 3 RBI game last night. Second time he's done that this season.
Meanwhile, Samuel Garcia looking for a 1-2-3 job here as he deals it outside. Garcia with his 3rd season at High Point. 1 win, a 7.57 ERA, and 18 appearances. Had 48 strikeouts despite allowing 26 extra base hits as Scannell strikes out swinging. Now 3 straight strikeouts here for Garcia. And just like that, there are 2 away, and Garcia seems to be in a groove.
I mean, that slider's just really working for him. He's getting hitters to chase that pitch all night long thus far. Starts at their belt and then drops down below their knees in the hitter is just swinging right on top of it, can't catch up, and it's a really good pitcher's pitch and a great put-away pitch.
All right, so that brings up Brian Arndt, one of Harwich's top producers at the bottom of the lineup. Has a pair of 2 RBI games thus far. The UNC Wilmington product also with a 2-hit game thus far. 1-0 taken down the chute. It's going to go to 1-1.
And he's been a really nice surprise at the bottom of the order. Didn't really have the bat going last summer, but has picked it up and found his approach and been really clutch for Harwich as well.
And returning Harwich Mariner on a 5-game on-base streak, 4 combined RBIs. Didn't really waste any time getting going in his return to Harwich with a 2-for-5 game, 2 RBIs in his season debut at Orleans as he fouls at one right back behind home plate, and the inning comes to a close. Another 1-2-3 job here, this time for Garcia in the bottom of the second. He's retired 4 straight going into the third. Scoreless going into the third here from Whitehouse Field. Harwich Mariners baseball is here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Scoreless here in the top of the third from Whitehouse Field. Due up for Harwich, Joe Stella, Mason Wright, and Dylan Hoy. 2 teams a half game out of first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings behind Yarmouth Dennis, a team Harwich has a win and a loss against here on the 2023 season. Shimoleski back out there. Deals a first pitch high for a strike. Taking a look around the Cape Cod scoreboard. The Wareham Gatemen ahead of the Highness Harbor Hawks 3-0. Meanwhile, the Anglers ahead of the Red Sox 2-1 at Red Wilson Field.
That leaves first place open for the winner of this game.
It's already in the bottom of the 8th as well. No lights available at Red Wilson Field. Harwich taking a 1-run loss on Friday night. 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th for the Red Sox. 1-1 taken high. It's 2-1. Katuitt Kettleers and the Bourne Braves scoreless now in the top of the 4th from Doran Park. The 2-1 from Shimoleski, spiked back. It's going to be 2-2 as Listell up for the first time will be forced to protect. Shimoleski thus far has done a good job of getting ahead in counts. He actually was down 3-1 against Peyton Green back in the second, forced him to pop out. Stella, the sophomore, Barry, Florida, down in Miami. So he takes it high that time. First payoff pitch here from Shimoleski. He hit left-handers very well, be at the Division II level, Devin. 348 against Southpaws. Has nobody to work with here in scoring position as he shoots this one over towards the right side. King on a fast roller that time for out number 1 here. And now 7 straight retired by Shimoleski.
I mean, how about King doing it on both sides of the ball? Kind of some weird hops in the infield over there, which is very rare at Whitehouse. but able to stay with it was king, and just an easy throw over. Had a few really nice sliding catches the other day, and saw him turn a double play by himself off balance. His defense is really going to send him miles in this league.
Well, it's going to help Harwich only from here, as he started numerous games in the middle infield this season. Jacob Humphrey getting back in the lineup today. The center fielder has been all over that outfield. 0-1, a slider called for a strike. Then you have Lorenzo Carrier last night. I mean, made some ridiculous catches out in right field, in addition to what he did at Orleans as well. 2 must-need victories for Harwich. There's a slider that swung on and missed from Tom Shimoleski. It's his first punch-out here in his second start on the season, and there are 2 away here in the third.
Keeps on rolling. That's now 7 in a row retired by the Princeton Tiger. He's got to continue to weed through this Brewster lineup. They can make it hurt. Harwich slightly better offense this game, but the 2 teams neck and neck in offensive ranks.
So here's Dylan Hoy for the second time today. Grinded out to Shimoleski back in the first. Trevor Austin with a 1-out double. That's Brewster's only base runner thus far. Goes low to the junior of Marist. Hitting .316 for the Whitecaps entering tonight. He has 3 two-hit games I beg your pardon, this season. 2 away. Shimoleski looking for 1 more here. He'll have to battle back from a 3-0 count.
He was the victim of that bang-bang play over at first base back in the top of the first. Would have been really interesting to see what Brewster did if he was safe, because then you had the double after that.
Taken high for a 4-pitch walk, as it's nothing new for Hoy. The utility man led Marist in walks this season with 38. As he's able to translate that here, he reaches for the first time today, as Brewster has its first base runner since the first inning as well. Shimoleski setting them down in order back in the second, but will have to work out of the stretch here to face Trevor Austin, another utility man who doubled to right field for Brewster's first hit back in the first. Slider goes off the outer half. Austin with 11 doubles, 8 home runs for a .311 batting average at Missouri this season. He hit left-handers quite well. He also hit quite well with runners in scoring position. Doesn't have that chance here. 1-0, attacking the outer half. It's going to go to 1-1.
Hoy's someone who likes to run, but going to be difficult to get a jump on the lefty in Shimoleski. Hoy's also been caught twice. That's tied for the league lead, but does have a handful as well, so kind of give and take for him.
Brewster team coming off a 4-4 tie last night. That was against the Wareham Gatemen. Brewster won on the road in Hyannis 3-0 after having its home match against Orleans postponed due to rain. Harwich and Chatham will play the rescheduled game tomorrow. Now the runner taking off, and they're going to have him taken down. Caught in a rundown is going to be Hoy, as Scannell catches him in a rundown that time. So Trevor Austin will have to wait, as we'll have to leave it there, as the top of the third comes to a close here from Whitehouse Field. No score going into the home half of the third. Shimoleski faces 4 and gets a quick 3 outs. No score. It's Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on for Brewster in the top of the third here. Going into the bottom of the third, Harwich looking to scratch across the first run here. Also going for 3 straight in the win column here today as Devin Obie comes in for the first time to face Samuel Garcia of High Point here. Obie, the outfielder of Duke, takes it inside. It's a strike there to Obie.
Struggled in his debut last night, a golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts, and also drew a walk.
Obie shoots this one out towards left field. Running back Austin, as it will bounce fair. At the warning track, Austin retrieves. Obie standing up into second as he will hold there. A leadoff double for Devin Obie. It's his first hit on the season. And the Harwich Mariners have business with a runner in scoring position to start the third.
That's the announcer's jinx in action right there. Just after talking about golden sombrero for Obie, he lifts one almost out of the ballpark. Nice double down the middle, or down the line. And a really nice way to start the third inning for Harwich. Nobody gone down yet either.
He did score a run in his season debut last night. Harwich's 9-4 win against Katuitt. First pitch to Jacob Humphrey taken for a strike. Humphrey returning to the lineup here today. Sophomore year at UMass Lowell was second in batting average at .317. He had a team high 9 home runs. First in hits was 69. He swings through right there, comes up empty. It's going to be 0-2 here. Strikeouts have been a concern for Humphrey this season, but he does have a pair of 2-hit games as well. Nice opportunity here as Harwich looks to get on first. And that one gets called, looking on the inner half all the while as Humphrey will go back to the dugout on strikes.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch from Garcia that time. Just caught the inside corner, froze Humphrey, who was crowding the plate, and he's not going to be happy about it. That's his team high 11th strikeout.
Seaver King comes back up, already reached on a single to center field back in the first. Meanwhile, the 4th strikeout for Garcia. Now, Harwich, at times this season, has gotten into the double digits in strikeouts, but you consider what it takes to go station to station. Sometimes you live with what you get. And for Harwich this season, it's been getting on those extra base hits, and as of late, it's been the home run ball as well that has carried this Harwich team. Despite not having many home runs last night compared to the night before. He got the sole home run out of Seaver King, but to score 9 unanswered runs certainly relies on just more than the long ball. One away here, scoreless. Seaver King at the plate here, working with Devin Obie on second. Takes it low.
Excuse me. But you talk about last night, and if you had to pick 2 things that were negatives from the game last night, it would be the Mariners punching out 14 times. That just can't happen. And they stranded 15 runners on base, which, granted, you got the win, you put up 9 runs, but those 2 glaring things are going to hurt you.
Shot out towards right field, and it's down for a base hit. Rounding third, Seaver King. He will be scoring standing up. 1-out double this time from Seaver King. Obie scores as the Mariners get on the board first here with a 1-0 lead in the third. And just as we start to say, when the home run doesn't help you always, the Mariners know how to convert with those 1-out base hits.
And, I mean, that was just like, this guy's hot. There's no other way around it. I mean, he just flipped that one in right field and finds himself down on second base. Anything he's putting a bat on is working out. He's now 6 for his last 7 with a walk in addition to that.
Kansas State product and Kalen Culpepper comes up here. Someone who really knows how to get on base, as Seaver King has done so finely as of late. 1-out RBI double here from Seaver King as Obie comes across to score. 3rd hit of the game here for the Mariners. 1 hit for Brewster. There's a swing and a miss. The ball gets away from the catcher and Leach, and that'll let King down to 3rd.
That works. Now if you're Culpepper, got to find a way to get this ball in play. A lot of ways you can score with 1 out, but with 2 outs, it becomes that much more difficult. So find something in the outfield, put it on the ground to the right side, anything, just to try and get that runner home.
Kalen Culpepper will have to protect. The infield comes in here. King on third. And the 0-2. Lofted to the right side, foul. Culpepper, the sophomore of Kansas State. 7 games this season, has 7 hits, 3 walks. Strikeout's not too much of a concern here. Still 1 away. 0-2 just goes low. Seemed as if last night, Katuitt, Harwich had very similar production at the top of the order, but it mattered a lot for Harwich, particularly in the bottom of the order. You had Ryan Wilson back in the lineup just getting that extra ounce of production with the hitting. And that proved to be the difference as the 1-0 goes low, and it's going to take Culpepper on the cleat. He's worn so many this season as a hits batsman.
Yeah, Culpepper now is third. It's almost like he's a magnet, too.
The ball becomes gravitational in a sense. Culpepper reaches for the 3rd time as hits batsman this season. That's going to bring up Hunter Fitzgerald.
Nothing can be worse than Hallbuck, though. Getting hit in 3 straight at-bats over at Orleans. Feel bad for that guy. Hopefully he's doing okay. Definitely some bruises from the game a few nights ago.
Well, it's a Harwich team that has certainly got on base plenty of times over the last 2 nights as Fitzgerald lofts it foul. Humphrey reached as a hits batsman back to start Harwich in the bottom of the 1st. And now Humphrey coming up with a huge spot to give Harwich some insurance runs. With the middle innings looming here at Whitehouse Field as Harwich looks to get on top further here after a couple convincing wins on the road the last 2 nights. Weak pickoff attempt that time from Garcia. Saw a balk called last night as well. On third, King. On first, Culpepper here. Ground ball double play opportunity available. And so the runners go, and it gets away from Leach, as that will allow Seaver King to come across to score easily. 2-0 lead here on a wild pitch, that time from Garcia, as the Harwich Mariners have their 2nd run on the game.
And yeah, I might be on Leach. I mean, he thought about making the throw before he had the ball and just stood up, and the ball skipped right by him. Cost his team a run there and couldn't even get the out because it got by.
Either way, it digs Brewster on a bigger hole here, as Harwich still has 2 outs to work with in the bottom of the 3rd. So a stolen base and a wild pitch here. That time another spiker in the dirt that time from Garcia. Looked well composed in the 2nd. Got a 1-2-3 job. 2 strikeouts and a foul out. But ever since, he's run into some choppy waters here. The ground ball double play opportunity out of reach now here for Garcia. This one skied out down the left field line. Running over third baseman Hoy. He makes the catch. That'll keep Culpepper at 2nd after advancing on the stolen base. There's 2 away.
We got our first final score. The Anglers take down the YD Red Sox by a score of 2-1. Anglers had just 2 wins coming into today and pick up a couple points there. And the Red Sox now in jeopardy of losing their first place hold. If we have an outright winner in this ball game, there will be a new top dog in the East.
Thinking back to opening day, the Mariners defeating the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox 4-3 here at home. Hear that 5-out save from Jacob Gomez of Old Dominion, just pitched last night as well. And he's been a valiant left-hander in the bullpen here for Steve Englert this season. So it's 0-1 here to Kennedy Jones. Culpepper on 2nd here after a foul out from Hunter Fitzgerald. Garcia, the southpaw, misses inside. And you talk about the close ball games around the league here today, Devin, has really carried over from the NCAA landscape as well. Wake Forest pulling off a 3-2 victory last night over LSU, made it interesting after tying it late, 1-1 high. Just the best time of the year that you can kind of get with the exciting college baseball.
Absolutely, and it's Omaha, Nebraska really is just the best spot for the College World Series. They draw in such a nice crowd, and those games have been really entertaining. Harwich Mariners all over that tournament.
TCU holding on against Oral Roberts today. A 2-1 from Garcia, taken on the inner half.
Hinojosa's loving that inside strike. Mariners are going to have to find a way to adapt because we saw it get Humphrey get rung up on it, and now Kennedy Jones watches it go by there.
Jones back in the lineup tonight after a grand slam at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds. 2-2.
Ooh.
Just goes low.
Garcia was halfway back to the dugout. Really good pitch. I'm surprised Jones is still standing in the box.
Culpepper on second here. Garcia trying to get out of it with only 2 runs on the board. Lofted out towards shortstop. Instead, it's going to be the third baseman, Hoy, as he makes the catch for the final out of the third here. But Harwich scoring the game's first 2 runs here, scoring those on 2 hits, leaving 1 stranded with no errors committed. 2-0 lead for Harwich going into the middle innings here. As Tom Chmielewski will be back out here. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the fourth, coming here with Tom Chmielewski of Princeton back on the mound here. Turning it over to my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, for the play-by-play for the middle innings. Devin, Tom Chmielewski, a lot to like out of thus far.
Yeah, you really can't complain with anything he's done out on the mound. Just allowed the 1 hit. Everybody has been going down. He was able to get the pickoff of Hoy to end the inning just back in the third, and now we'll see what he can do. It's kind of been, you can call it 8 straight with the pickoff included that he's retired, because now he's got to face Trevor Austin once again. First pitch misses inside. It'll be 1-0. Austin on the day hit a double in the first inning. It looked like it was going to be a big inning for Brewster, but turned out to be lightning in a bottle after a fly out and a ground out. This one's lifted high and deep out to left, and Kennedy Jones there just in front of the warning track to make the play. Bit of a scare there. Everybody's hearts dropped, but nonetheless just a loud out.
Yeah, it was a loud out, and that flag is hanging off the pole straight down in center field. Kennedy Jones fortunate that he didn't have to fight off the wind there, and the wind not blowing in that much either. Jones had a lot of momentum, you notice there.
Ike Irish's turn. 6'2", 190 pounds out of Auburn. Rising sophomore there, native of Duluth, Georgia. It's going to be 0-2 to start him off here. Chmielewski really locked in. I mean, hitting all his spots, painting corners, finding ways to make hitters miss. Just 1 hit for the Whitecaps, 3 for the Mariners. And the Mariners leading the scoreboard 2-0. 0-2. Right down the middle. He froze him and rung up his Irish. Second strikeout for Chmielewski.
Confidence-inducing strikeout for Chmielewski, someone who has a strong slider in addition to that fastball that he's really worked well into this ball game here.
Jamie Farrer's turn. Farrer on the day 0 for 1 with a ground out to first base. Farrer out of Florida State, a native of Puerto Rico, and he chops this one foul over towards the Harwich dugout.
And one thing you notice thus far about Chmielewski, the slider is a bit tighter than that looping curveball, really drops off the table. Similar velocity, however. The curveball is just at 74, 75, the slider at 78 to 81.
checked his swing, but yes, he did. No doubt about that one. It's 0-2. Farrer coming into today hitting .308 for the Whitecaps. Does have 8 hits, so a pretty strong start for him. This is now going to be his 8th game out of 9 possible that he's played in. Breaking ball drops in there. Strike 3. Shimoleski dialed in back-to-back strikeouts looking. Score that with a backwards K, and we head to the home half of the 4th. Still 2-0 Mariners. Shimoleski is in his zone. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back to Whitehouse Field. It'll be 6-7-8 due up for the Harwich Mariners after they were able to post 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. As every Brewster half inning seems to take 3 to 4 minutes. These Harwich at-bats being much more patient and really letting Garcia come to them. First pitch is going to miss up and in. It's 1-0. Camarillo on the day was the 2nd strikeout victim of Garcia. Trying to change that narrative here in his 2nd at-bat. Camarillo then fouls that one off and out of play onto the hill. So it'll be 1-1. Harwich offense really has blossomed over the last week, especially with the long ball. 4 in the last 3 games, as I said. They've won 3 of their last 5, still trying to put together a little streak. They could extend it to 3 with a win here tonight and secure first place in the East, granted early on. It's 2-1 now to Camarillo. The pitch. Just missed the inside corner. It's 3-1. On deck, Matt Scannell followed by Brian Arndt. Same exact 3 due up as was in the 2nd. They went down in order. 3-1 pitch. It's going to be chopped foul once again towards the same spot over to the right, and it'll be a full count now. Camarillo really excited for Texas A&M, set to be an Aggie, as he's transferred out of Cal State Northridge after leading them in batting average at .371. He was fantastic. Payoff pitch, up and in once again. Almost got a piece of Camarillo, and so he'll draw a walk. Had a couple of those yesterday in the leadoff spot, and he'll take his first trip down to first base today.
First baseman from Princeton, number 10, Matt Scannell.
Matt Scannell's turn. What a season he's put together early on. Finding ways to drive runners in. He's got himself a nice little 3-game hitting streak. Batting .269 for the Mariners, but 10 runs batted in. He's been sensational at getting people in to score. Garcia surveying everything. Now steps onto the rubber. Camarillo with a healthy lead off of first. We'll see if he's in motion. The pitch. Thought about bunting. The snap throw back is not in time. Leach trying to catch Camarillo sleeping. It's going to be 0-1. Scannell on the day was a third strikeout victim of Garcia, looking for some revenge here. And they'll go take a look at Camarillo. Almost got away. Really nice play by Stella to stick with it.
And if you're Scannell right here, never too early to get going in the lineup on a 3-game hitting streak, and had that home run at Yarmouth Dennis 4 days ago as well.
0-1. Misses up high and makes it 1-1. Camarillo does have speed, but going to be tough to time the lefty, especially because they know that he's thinking about it. Large secondary lead. 1-1. Scannell pops it up, foul territory, should be playable, ranging over his Hoy right in front of the warning track, and he makes a leaping grab before bumping into the fence. Really nice play by Dylan Hoy, and there's one away.
Yeah, it's a great grab that time. Certainly didn't hesitate in getting over to that one. Knew it was still in play, and he had a great deal of acceleration right from the get-go as well. Sometimes you just lack that right off of the third base bag and trying to get into foul territory in time.
And this Brewster defense is so impressive, the best in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They've only made 3 errors through their first 8 games. That's good for a .989 fielding percentage. They've been fantastic. One away for Brian Arndt. He popped out to the catcher, and now they got Camarillo in a rundown. Going to be a close play at second, but they got him. Camarillo's picked off. That's the second time we've seen a pickoff here tonight. One aside, and it clears the bases and makes it 2 down for Arndt now.
Yeah, that's what you get with a little bit more leverage in the southpaws being on the mound here tonight. I want a 1-3-6 putout at second on the caught steal attempt.
It's a risk you take when running on a lefty, and unfortunately, Camarillo, although made it close, gets thrown out at second. It'll be 1-0 to start Arndt here. Devin Obie on deck, the 9-hitter. He hit a double and came around to score in the third, as the 1-0 misses just above the hands to make it 2-0.
Andy Pettit was really good at that. Longtime southpaw for the Yankees. He was just good at being able to not get called for a balk each time out as well.
2-0. It's going to be popped up in the infield. Ranging over is the pitcher. Getting called off is Hoy, and he makes the grab for out number 3. So despite a walk, Garcia able to face the minimum. We head now to the 5th inning, 2-0 Harwich on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back, Devin Dobet, Wyatt Kopelman along with you, as we'll give you a little Cape Cod Baseball League scoreboard update. Chatham defeated Yarmouth Dennis 2-1 over at Red Wilson Field. A really quick game there, just 2 hours and 21 minutes. Katuitt on top of Bourne at Doran Park, 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Hyannis trailing Wareham 3-2 at Spillane Field in the top of the 6th. Orleans knotted up with Falmouth 2-2 in the bottom of the 5th. And of course, Harwich up on top of Brewster 2-0. Wyatt, a lot of positives from this Harwich defense and pitching staff. Shimoleski really in a rhythm right now.
He's in a rhythm, and he's going to need to keep giving this pitching staff a lot of stability as well, especially with Chatham taking a 2-1 victory against Yarmouth Dennis following an 11-1 loss last night. It was against a win-hungry Bourne team as well, a team that had yet to collect a win before it came here to Harwich this past week on Wednesday.
The The 1-0 pitch to Tibbs is grounded over to Seaver King at second, and that's going to be just as easy as it gets for him. There's one away. Cruising right along here. Hasn't even been an hour, knock on wood, yet, and we're already almost through half the ball game. Not the pace the Mariners have been on lately, as the offense has just been off the wall, putting up, as I mentioned, 21 runs in the last 2 games. 27 if you want to include the YD game, so averaging 9 a game over the last 3. It's 0-1 now to Peyton Green. He popped out to second, and Seaver King back in inning number 2. 0-1 pitch. Nice breaking ball dropped in there by Shimoleski. Some serious 12-6 movement, dropped vertically and just completely froze Green. Base is empty here in the 5th. 1 away. Another breaking ball, this time bounced in the dirt. Nice pitch to waste if you're Shimoleski, and it's 1-2.
The Mariners this season 2-1 when their starter goes 5 or more. Right now, it seems that's the trend for Shimoleski.
1-2 pitch. It's going to be broken bat chopped over to Seaver King at second. He'll go on to first. Another 4-3 putout for out number 2. I think that's the 3rd bat that a Whitecap has broken here in the ball game, and we're not even through 5 full yet.
The Mariners, with one of the lower ranked fielding percentages in the league this season, they have 8 errors, but it's been great to have the presence of Seaver King at second, not to mention Kalen Culpepper at third as well, as really played the left side of the infield so efficiently. Just those individual pieces you need to form the better part of a whole.
First pitch to Leach misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Leach on the day is grounded out to the shortstop Camarillo. 1-0. Breaking ball misses up and away. 2-0. Shimoleski threw around 90 pitches in his first outing. I'm not sure how short of a leash they're going to keep him on as he continues to go further into this ball game. 2-0 pitch is going to be lined down the left field line, foul, as it just hooks off the out-of-bounds fence, and so it'll be 2-1. Leach this season for the Whitecaps, hitting a team best .364 as the catcher. He's got 8 hits in his 22 at-bats coming into today. He's been a real threat and still hitting in the lower third, but I'm sure that will change for Coach Jamie Shevchuk. 3 balls and a strike now to him. On deck, Joe Stella. The only Whitecap with a hit is Trevor Austin. That came in the first. Swing and a miss that time. Would have been ball 4, but instead the count is loaded up.
Shimoleski's done a great job of battling back with strikes to get back in these counts. Just crossed the 50-pitch threshold.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Another punch out for Shimoleski, and he knew it. Strikeout number 4 for him. He is in cruise control. Halfway through this one from Whitehouse. Mariners coming up on the other side. 2-0 Harwich on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. called to the bullpen for the Whitecaps. Sam Garcia's night is over. He goes 4 innings, allows 3 hits, 2 earned runs, strikes out 4, and walks just 1. Definitely enough to keep his team in the ball game. And now it'll be Tom Shapansky coming into the ball game. Wyatt, what can you tell us about him?
Shapansky only going a season-high 2 innings against Bowling Green at Virginia Tech this season and only pitched 6 innings, likely a developmental season for him here in relief.
First pitch to Obi is going to be in there for a strike.
But he did have 3 scoreless outings, 10 total strikeouts for John Sheff at Virginia Tech this season.
0-1 coming to Obi. Couple ACC guys going at it. Duke versus Virginia Tech. And Obi with a really nice double. That one hopped onto the wall back in inning number 3. Started a rally that brought in 2 Mariner runs. He was one of them. 1-1 misses low and away, and it's 2-1. Obi, an interesting season at Duke. That is for sure. Pitches 236 for the Blue Devils. Crosses 55 at-bats. Not a full season for him. Hit 204 in his freshman year through 37 games. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, did he go? Yes, so says Mark Chamberlain. And rung up for the 5th time this season and the first time tonight is Devin Obi.
From UMass Lowell, number 36, Jacob.
Not the start that you want to get off to here in the first couple of games on the Cape Cod League if you're Obi, but you still live with it, knowing that strikeouts happen, especially as you transition from the metal to the wood bat.
Jacob Humphrey's turn. He watches ball 1 skip by in the dirt. Humphrey on the day was hit by a pitch, stranded at third, and then struck out looking back in inning number 3. As this one's fouled off. Nice play by Seaver King to grab it. Flip it over to the Bat Boys. Ball and a strike now to Humphrey with 1 away. Nobody on for Harwich. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Yes, he did. So says the home plate umpire, Mike Hinojosa. And so it'll be 1-2.
Mariners have been great when holding leads after innings 6 this year. 4-1. The only loss, that 7-6 loss at Yarmouth Dennis on Friday night.
Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Just misses off the outside corner, and it'll be 2-2. On deck, Seaver King. Not much more to be said there. He's red hot. 2-2 pitch. Misses way up high over the head of Humphrey. Very interesting looking pitch that time. Really got away from Shapansky. Go out on a limb and say he's Polish, Wyatt. Speaking as a fellow Pole. As this one's going to be popped up in foul territory. Might be room for Stella. He ranges over to the fence, and it just lips right over it. And so we'll have to go to a full count once again.
Humphrey's done a good job plenty of times this season in battling back. Now it's going to be a matter of how he can actually get it into the outfield here, if not draw a 1-out walk.
Payoff pitch coming. And misses low and away. Humphrey on for the 2nd time tonight. Once being hit, this time a little easier. He's just
Second
walked.
baseman from Wake Forest, number 25.
Not a bad guy to get on in front of. Seaver King already has a single and a double. He's also come around to score. Back in inning number 3. We'll see what he does here in the 5th. He is scorching, though, Wyatt.
He's been scorching, and I think when you have someone who's found a way to get on base at multiple instances this season, just by earning walks, fighting back in counts, as Humphrey did there, really tough take. All the while, you get King to have someone to work with a man on.
First pitch to him is dropped in there for a strike, off-speed pitch. But King leads the Mariners in runs with 6, now 7 after tonight. He's been hit by a pitch twice. Pair of sac flies, also leads the league.
He's got some elite company as well. Hunter Hines, Max Vieira, the top 2 hitters in the league, not to mention Charlie Condon just was a standout freshman All-American at Georgia.
0-1 pitch. There goes Humphrey. The throw down is going to be not in time. It's a stolen base for Jacob Humphrey. And he's now in scoring position with the count 1-1.
Mariners have started to pick it up with the stolen bases this year. They've read balls well in the dirt, and that's helped them here tonight.
Ball and a strike. And here comes the pitch. There goes Humphrey once again, and it's going to be a check swing on the hit and run, and Seaver King finds a way to make it a hit. He just doesn't even know anymore. He throws up the Michael Jordan shrug. That was a check swing that found a home in right field, and that will be his third hit of the ball game, and it gives the Mariners a 3-0 lead as Humphrey comes in to score.
I think he initially saw that one as too high and wanted to take that one instead. Just went enough through the zone, and sure enough, you poke it in to right field for an RBI base hit, getting your team another insurance run here. You just talk about getting on base, finding unique ways. Seaver King setting an example here.
So Kalen Culpepper's turn, just one away here in the fifth. Mariners have added another run to their lead. Seaver King has 3 of the Harwich 4 hits. First pitch to Culpepper is going to miss way outside. Nice job by Leach to snag it and make sure there's no movement from King. But it is 1-0. So ball and no strikes to Kalen Culpepper in the pitch. There goes the runner and King, and he's going to steal a base. That one got away from Leach. Second time he's kind of tried to throw it before he got it, and it hurts him once again. Stolen base for Seaver King.
King coming home on wild pitches back in the third after that one-out double to get the Harwich hitting started there. And King has just been so versatile in the lineup no matter where you put him.
2-0 pitch coming, and misses downstairs, make it 3-0.
Just a tough evening thus far for Brewster, and specifically the catcher, and Leach has had a couple wild pitches and hasn't gotten easier with Harwich reading it so well in the dirt here.
Next pitch is going to miss for a ball. And so that will be a walk for Kalen Culpepper. Down to first base he heads.
The designated hitter from Old Dominion, number 32, Hunter Fitzgerald.
2 straight on here for Harwich. You know that you need insurance runs. And I'm interested to see the approach here from Hunter Fitzgerald. Reach on a fielder's choice back in the first. You got it done on the ground that time in order to reach safely, but he has the ability to shoot into the power alleys. We'll see what he can do here.
It is his turn indeed. We will see what Fitzgerald can do as Brewster wants to talk things over. It has been an interesting ball game for them just far. Just the one hit, and it was the second batter that they had. As the mound visit is broken up.
No lead too safe here for Harwich. You consider getting that win over Katuitt. Now Kettleers at 6-2, but it's been a productive first few innings thus far. You have to give your starter in Shimoleski a lot of padding to work with.
Fitzgerald watches strike one go by. He hit into a fielder's choice and popped out to third. He's in jeopardy of losing his hitting streak. I believe it's up to 7 games now. 0-1 coming. Misses inside. It's 1-1. Fitzgerald, the Old Dominion Monarch. He's got a couple men on. See if he can move the chain. Behind him is Kennedy Jones, who we know can put the ball in play. The pitch. This is just outside. Leach wanted it, didn't get the call from Hinojosa, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Sapansky rocks and delivers in there for a strike. And so the count is even up at 2.
It's where you know you can't hold back if you're Fitzgerald, someone who had 70 RBIs in just over 50 games at Old Dominion this season.
Had 2 hits last night. Second multi-hit game of the year. And there goes the runners. Double steal. The throw down to third is going to be not in time. Hoy thought he got the tag on King, and I'm not sure how he didn't. Maybe the ball fell out of his glove. But it's a double steal for the Mariners, who are getting really aggressive here. Second stolen base for Seaver King in this inning. Culpepper gets down to second as well. And so now a lot easier for Fitzgerald and first base open with the count full. We'll see what Brewster elects to do, if they're aggressive or they just want to paint a corner. And they miss inside. That loads them all up for Kennedy Jones, and the last time that happened in front of him, we all know what happened.
It's a very encouraging plate appearance if you're Hunter Fitzgerald. Someone similar to Humphrey has found a way to earn walks at timely points in the lineup this season, as he now earns his 5th walk on the season.
Sapansky really struggling with control here tonight. He's walked the last 2. And before that, he walked Jacob Humphrey. 4 straight of reach for Harwich. First pitch to Jones. Missed outside for a ball. Humphrey walked, came around to score. Then Seaver King had a single. Culpepper walked, and Fitzgerald walked. Kennedy Jones's turn here, 1-0 with the bases loaded. And he pops it up into right center field. Coming on is Farrer. Being called off is Tibbs, as tagging up and heading home is King. The throw will not be in time. It gets away from Leach. As Seaver King comes in, it'll be a sac fly for Kennedy Jones.
Yeah, you put the ball into play, good things will happen on the ground or in the air that time. Despite it not being a base hit, you had Seaver King 90 feet away, and you knew he was creeping in for the sacrifice fly tag. Someone who read that so well, despite it being in shallow territory.
So 2 away for Ali Camarillo. Still 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch to him is going to catch the outside corner for a strike. Harwich jumped out to a 4-run lead. Nice cushion for Shimoleski, who's been dealing. No action in the Harwich bullpen, just a bunch of guys hanging out in sweatshirts. So that leads me to believe Shimoleski is going to return for the 6th. As that one's bounced, it gets away. Culpepper thought about it and now retreats back to third. Fitzgerald was halfway down to third, so he had a long way back, and luckily everybody going to be safe for Harwich.
Has not gotten a lot smoother for Shapansky after Garcia began to get in a little bit of trouble in that 4th inning. And you consider what needs to be done here. You need to get it on the ground. If not, just battle back here and get Camarillo down on strikes.
As the pitch misses outside to make it a ball, 2-1. Camarillo has struck out and walked before he was picked off. 2-1 misses way outside. It's 3-1. Camarillo, the shortstop for Harwich tonight, typical middle infielder. And that one misses way outside. He'll draw his 2nd walk and jog down to first base to reload him for Matt Scannell, another clutch hitter for the Mariners this season.
It's a big spot here for Harwich. You get 2 thus far in the 5th, 2 back in the 3rd as well. And you got those 2 runs on 2 hits. So you know that the bats are starting to heat up at this point in the game after not really getting that much hitting production for the first 2 innings. But if you're Scannell right here, have to test your ability to go into the power alleys. No other better time to do it.
First pitch to Scannell is going to be in there on the inside corner to make it 0-1. Scannell on the day has struck out swinging and popped out to third, still seeking his first hit. And what a time it would be to do that off the struggling Sapansky. That one bounced in the dirt, and the count is now even at 1. Hyannis has jumped in front of Wareham 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Falmouth is also surged in front of Orleans 3-2. As Scannell rips this one through the right side, in to score easily as Culpepper rounding third, headed home as Fitzgerald. Down over to third, a close play for Camarillo. Ball gets away. Camarillo's going to score. Down to second is Scannell, and it's a 3-run single for Matt Scannell. Mariners extend their lead to 7.
Scannell had the first home run of the season for Harwich, and that didn't border on that kind of power, but he was able just to hit it through that 3-4 hole, and Harwich, the insurance runs it needs, looks to one of its veteran power hitters in Scannell, who's done such an excellent job of being able to fulfill 2-out spots this season.
He's just been so clutch. There's no way around it. Anytime he's given a situation with runners in scoring position, he delivers, does it right there, and puts this game in a really tough place for Brewster. Harwich trying to get to the top of the East with a win. It's a ball, or no count to Brian Arndt. He's popped out twice, both in the infield. He'll be the 9th batter that Harwich brings to the plate. On deck is Devin Obie, who led off the inning with a strikeout. Since then, Mariners have erupted for 5 runs, a crooked number out there on the scoreboard. Here comes the 0-1 to Brian Arndt. Misses outside. It's 1-1.
Fastball command has just not been there for the Virginia Tech product, and Shapansky still have a chance here to force a quick round out and prevent it from avalanching.
Brian Arndt with a 5-game on-base streak, trying to keep that and push it to 6, as he does with a single into the shallow left field. Ball was knocked down by Green, but plenty of time for Arndt to get over to first base. It'll be a hit for him, the 6th for the Mariners, and now they got runners on the corners, and Obie coming up to the plate.
Right fielder from Duke, number 24, Devin.
It's been 3 hits, a pair of walks as well, rather 3 walks for Harwich here. And the versatility that you need out of your lineup is fully surfacing here.
Obie, now the 10th batter for Harwich. A really nice inning for them. So they've finally batted around. It's a ball and no strikes to the Duke product. Brewster going to really need the bats to get going in these last 4 innings. They trail by 7. It's also been an error on the throw over to third base. That chased in a couple runs. Ball and no strikes. Obie's doubled and scored and struck out as he fouls this one off with a check swing. Arndt was jogging down to, might be a balk we're seeing. Yes, a balk as Arndt does go down to second. Scannell comes in to score, and just like that, it's 8-0.
Well, it's unraveled here for a Brewster pitching staff that certainly brought concern for a Harwich lineup that had begun to swing the bats really well.
So it's still going to be a 1-0 count. The foul is negated by the balk. 1-0 pitch. It's going to be grounded foul off towards Coach Tebow at third base, and it gets all the way to the Mariner bullpen. Six different Mariners have scored in the inning. Humphrey, King, Culpepper, Fitzgerald, Camarillo, and Scannell. And Kennedy Jones, the only one in that mix to break up the run streak, hit a sac fly, so did his part. Brian Arndt stands at second, trying to become the 7th Mariner to score in the inning. Obie just trying to get on base and extend this surge of offense for Harwich. It's a ball and 2 strikes to him. Long look in from Sapansky. And here comes the pitch. It's going to be lofted into center field, but right at James Tibbs. He puts it away for out number 3. But the Mariners tally 6 runs, and they lead it now 8-0, heading to the 6th inning. Harwich trying to slam the door on Brewster. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
I'll run you through.
Joe Stella.
Joe Stella, Mason White, and Dylan Hoy, the three up for the Brewster Whitecaps. They trail this one 8-0, despite just 6 hits from the Mariners. A really long 5th inning for Tom Sapansky, in which 6 Mariners were able to cross the plate. First pitch is going to miss for a ball. It's 1-0. On the day, Stella has grounded out to second. This is just his second plate appearance, and next pitch is going to be in there for a strike, so it'll be even at 1-1. Katuitt on top of Bourne, 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th. As that one will also find its way into the zone to make it 1-2. Shimoleski out there once again in the 6th inning, really just pushing the longevity of his starts. Went 6 full last time. We'll see what he does here, as that one's going to be fouled off. And so be 1-2 once again.
Yeah, he's building a lot of longevity, but you also consider how Harwich has helped him with the lineup here today. You get 2 runs in the 3rd, and then you get 6 in the 5th as well, a season high in an inning.
1-2. This is up high, and it's 2-2.
Funny enough, Harwich had 4 runs in the 8th inning against Orleans as well a couple of nights ago.
2-2. Spoiled. Nice defensive swing from Stella. And so we'll stay at 2-2. Stella on the season for the Whitecaps, hitting .286 coming into today as he watches a ball go by to load up the count full. Looks like Jalen Jones stretching out for Harwich. Pitched just once for the club. Rocky outing out in Wareham. Walked 5 batters. Payoff is going to be chopped foul. Once again spoiled. Joe Stella, a really nice at bat here to make Shimoleski work.
If you're Brewster, you figure it has to be someone looking to no one other than Stella. He's only facing Shimoleski for the 2nd time today. 6 straight retired.
Payoff pitch once again is fouled off, and Stella really making Shimoleski work for this punch out as the at-bat is extended once again. One hit for the Whitecaps, 6 for the Mariners. Another payoff, rung him up. Strikeout number 5 for Shimoleski. Really nice pitch at the knees. And nothing you can do if you're Stella. Really nice pitch. And so that will be out number 1 here in the 6th.
That's just a small reason why Princeton had a very successful season. Went 24-23 overall, a 17-win improvement from 2022. And that was the highest win differential in the NCAA this season.
Bunt attempt, and it's foul. Mason White hit that one a little too strong. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened had it been fair. White got a really good jumping. Culpepper, a strong arm. Would have been another bang-bang play. White was the first strikeout victim of Shimoleski back in the 3rd as Shimoleski drops in a breaking ball to make it 0-2. On deck, Dylan Hoy, top of the order. 0-2 pitch is going to be rolled over to Seaver King. He's going to have to charge it, and a glove flip onto first in time. Seaver King showing off the defense. Beautiful glove flip. That was all he could do with the time he had, and so that will be out number 2.
And as collective as an effort it can be to back a guy up on the mound through a long start. Now, Shimoleski going 5 2/3 innings here. Seaver King has had his back all night long, and he's made it a very individualistic performance thus far from the defense. It's been great to see him here today.
And now the first pitch to Hoy is going to be cut on and missed. Hoy's grounded out to Shimoleski, and also, that was a bunt attempt actually, and he's also walked and been picked off. A 1 pitch coming to him is going to be right on the outside corner, strike 2. Like clockwork, Shimoleski right through these Brewster guys. Hasn't faced more than 3 batters in an inning since the 1st. As That one's bounced in the dirt to make it 1-2. The only person to reach in that span has been Dylan Hoy with a walk, but he was picked off. Shimoleski, all business, gets right back into his motion as soon as he steps on the rubber. Breaking ball misses down in the dirt to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 away. And this is not something we expected to see out of this Brewster offense. Really just nothing working ever since the double by Austin. We thought it was going to be a fury of hits, but really has fizzled out as this one's chopped up the middle. Charging is Camarillo, throws across his body in time. Another 1-2-3 for Tom Shimoleski. He's had 4 of those here through 6 innings. 8-0 Harwich heading to the home half. We'll see on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the 6th here, and it'll be Tyler Mudd stepping onto the rubber for the Whitecaps, who trail by 8. Harwich still hungry for more. Jacob Humphrey set to kick things off. He'll be followed by Seaver King and Kalen Culpepper. First pitch to Humphrey is going to be fouled off to the right. It's 0-1. Beautiful night here in Harwich. Sun has gone down. Lights are on at Whitehouse, and a little cool. All the sweatshirts definitely still sticking around for another week or so. It's going to be 1-1 now to Humphrey. Humphrey's been hit by a pitch, struck out looking, and he also walked, stole a base, and came around to score on a Seaver King single. 1-1 misses just inside, and so it'll be 2-1. Mudd shaking off a sign. Long time out there on the mound, and 2-1. Breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. It's going to be 2-2 now. Mudd on the season's appeared just once for the Whitecaps. He threw 3 innings, surrendered 3 hits and 2 earned runs. That one misses just low. 3-2 now. Did get a pair of strikeouts and walked a man. Was credited with the loss in that outing. Payoff. Right in there for strike 3. Humphrey thought he had his 3rd walk of the day. Flipped the bat in the process, but now he'll have to go pick it up as he's rung up for out number 1.
Mudd only pitching 2 games for Holy Cross this season of the Patriot League, but 5 2/3 innings. He got a strikeout in each of those outings. He picks up right where he left off.
Seaver King's turn. He's 3 for 3 on the day, a single, a double, and another single. He's come around to score twice. A 1 pitch from Mudd is going to be lined into right field. It's another 4-hit game for Seaver King. This has got to be a historic week when you think back to Cape Cod League history. I mean, He's got 8 hits in the last 2 games. He's just been on an absolute tear.
Third baseman.
4 for 4 on the day. He has 4 of Harwich's 7 hits. Just really unstoppable right now.
Yeah, and it's what you look for, especially for someone who had a 47-game hitting streak, the 3rd longest in NCAA Division II history. Well deserving of his opportunity to play at Wake Forest.
And he is excited for sure. First pitch is going to be bounced in the dirt to Culpepper. He's flied out to center and been hit by a pitch, swiped a couple bases, and also walked and come around to score. It's 1-0 to Culpepper. The pitch is going to be hit and foul off back behind the plate, and so it'll be 1-1 now. Culpepper, a Kansas State Wildcat. 1-1 pitch coming to him, and he fouls it off over the Brewster dugout to make it 1-2.
Culpepper continues to find ways to get on base. It's just what you need here. Harwich only leaving 4 on tonight thus far.
And it was for sure a problem the other night, as that one's bounced in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, and Leach, but not a great read from King, and he has to retreat back to first. I'll tell you what, King is really putting on a show. Coming from a guy who played D2 ball, you're not sure what to expect or how his game's going to translate against these Power 5 guys who are also talented. And he has really made his mark known. Probably unanimous Cape Cod Player of the Week. Ground ball to Hoy. He goes to second for 1, on to first, and Culpepper is retired. It'll be a 5-4-3 double play to end the 6th inning. A makeshift 1-2-3 for Tyler Mudd in his first inning. We head to the final third of the ball game. 8-0 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Coming on.
707. If you have a winning ticket, you can.
Top of the 7th inning here at Whitehouse. Call to the bullpen. Tom Shimoleski's night is over. He goes 6 complete innings, allows 1 hit, and the second batter he faced, Trevor Austin. No earned runs, strikes out 5, and walks 1. Jalen Jones, the new wing out of Georgia, and taking it away for the rest of the ball game on play-by-play duty, my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt.
The 6'1", 230-pound Jalen Jones, the southpaw out of Ohio State coming out, the former Michigan transfer, as he steps on for his 2nd outing on the season. And it's going to be interesting to see how he fares here after Tom Shimoleski went 6 innings, no earned runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts through 19 batters faced. A bunch shown this time from Trevor Austin, the 2-hole hitter today here for Brewster, which trails Harwich 8-0 as we get the final portion of this one going here. It's 1 hit for Brewster, 7 for the Mariners. Harwich in the driver's seat here to pick up a 3rd straight victory. 1-0 from Jones, taking on the inner half. So Trevor Austin here today, 1 for 2 with a double to right back in the first and flied out to left field back in the fourth. Just an opportunity for Jones to have some padding behind him and throw a solid outing. But first off, to battle back here as he spikes one in the dirt.
His control, a serious problem. Had 5 walks in that outing, as I mentioned, out at Wareham, and he's already misfired 2 in a really bad way. So we'll see if he can settle in. He's definitely got some talent. We saw it at Georgia.
That one beans Trevor Austin on the outer leg, so he'll be reaching as a hits batsman here. And the control arises here for Jones, the Thomasville, Georgia native. Plunks Austin as he reaches for the second time here today. Jones coming off his first season at Ohio State, 0-1, 7.04 ERA, 20 games, no starts, 23 innings pitched, and he had 28 punch-outs and 22 walks. So he works out of the stretch here. The most innings he pitched for the Buckeyes this season, 3 innings against Dayton in mid-April. Now here's the first pitch on the way to Ike Irish, and it's watched at outside for ball 1. Irish, the standout freshman at Auburn of the SEC this season under Butch Thompson. He led the Tigers in hitting. He flied out to center field back in the first, struck out looking in the fourth. Harwich getting ahead 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Had a 6-run 5th inning to pad the lead there. As Tom Shimoleski day closes, he'd be in line for the win. Just 1 hit allowed, 1 walk as well. 1-0, a fastball clipping the upper half. It's been a quiet top third of the lineup here, aside from the 1-out double back in the first for Brewster, courtesy of Trevor Austin. Another check back over at first. Brewster and Harwich, both a half game behind Yarmouth Dennis for first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. Meanwhile, Katuitt staying still at top of the West Division. The southpaw tries again, and he's unsuccessful. So Trevor Austin, the junior of Missouri, on for a second time here today. A lot of catchers in this lineup, or in this ball club, I should say, for Brewster Devon filled. Julian Brock, another one of them. That one's taken outside. Julian Brock, one of them, in addition to Western Eberle, the senior of Columbia, of the Ivy League. Irish trying to move a runner into scoring position here to be the first since the first inning when Trevor Austin had the double to right. This one smashed down the left field line, the broken bat back in the direction of Jones, and it'll be 2-2.
Another broken bat. They're just snapping them like toothpicks, it seems.
Well, for Jones, the key for him here is to go batter by batter and try and get an out. 8-0 lead here for Harwich. Coming off a 2-game road trip. 2 successful road wins for the Mariners. They're trying to pick up the chips of the broken bat fruit, it looks like. Harwich back here against Chatham tomorrow. The Mariners and the Anglers were scheduled to play on Friday. Standstill moment here in this one. Lights starting to come on here at Whitehouse Field. Now Ike Irish is back in, the designated hitter here today. 2-2 outside. Jones now with 6 balls dealt here in his first inning of relief. And the payoff pitch. Served and lofted foul. We'll do it again.
Really nice at bat by Irish, and you know Jones is struggling with control, so if you can struggle, or if you can spoil a strike, that will make him throw more pitches and maybe give you a free pass. Let's see what Jones comes back with here.
And the 3-2 again. Served foul again. A freshman who was so dominant against right-handers, a little less so against left-handers this season at Auburn. Butch Thompson, who led Auburn to a 34-23 season in the freshman year of Irish, said that he has the ability to blast the ball to every quadrant of the field. Payoff pitch high, and he won't be blasting it. He'll just be taking it down to first. That moves Austin into scoring position here. And just like that, Brewster has 2 on here for the first time on the night.
Yeah, it looks like there's some tossing going on in the Harwich pen. Jalen Jones just unfortunately has really struggled here in his couple games in the Cape League. But he's got a really good cushion. You can't ask for a better spot to put him in to try and shake away these monkeys off it on his back.
Irish started 0 for 2. Now he reaches with a walk. Still none away for Jones, as that's going to clip Ferrer on the elbow guard. So Jones loads the bases here, and it has not been the ideal relief outing in his second try this season.
And yeah, not even the ball put in play yet. 2 hit batsmen and a walk. And the pitching coach going to come out calming down now.
Well, Jones had struggled against Wareham in what was a very tough final 3 innings as the Mariners fell 12-1 at Spillane Field, just about 40 minutes here from Whitehouse Field earlier this past week. They had just lost 2-1 to Falmouth before the Mariners bounced back with a 3-0 rain-abbreviated victory here for Steve Englert's 400th win on the season. The Mariners at home this year, 2-1. 5-3 overall. They've taken a few convincing road victories as well, aside from that devastating loss to Yarmouth Dennis on the road last Friday. The Mariners this season, Devin, they've been so advantageous when they're able to score first. And you consider what Jalen Jones has to face here with the bases loaded and still none gone. Jaime Ferrer on first, Austin on third, Irish on second. Jones needs something on the ground here.
Got to be a mental battle for him, too. I mean, you think about his last outing probably still nagging at him, and he's had a tough introduction to the ball game here. He's got to win that mental battle.
1-0 to James Tibbs, taken for a strike. Mariners had kept the Brewster Whitecaps off the base paths for the most part, except for 2 instances in the first and the third, as the 1-1 is line foul. So Jones will try for a strikeout here after 2 hits batsmen and a walk here in the inning. James Tibbs at Florida State hit .320 with runners in scoring position, one of the Seminoles' primary power hitters this year. A 2-strike pitch, a slider looped back behind. We'll do it again. He had 20 multi-hit games and 43 RBIs in 54 starts. It's quite the efficient outfielder as he bats behind Jaime Ferrer, who has been dominant for the Seminoles in Tallahassee for a couple of years. It was a rebuilding year for Florida State this year. 1-2 from Jones. Fastball high.
It's nice because now he's ahead in the count, or he was ahead in the count, so he has some pitches to waste, just wasted one there. See what he comes back with now in an interesting spot.
And the 2-2. Slider tapped foul. Well, these Brewster hitters have certainly done a good job of trying to deepen the counts here against Jalen Jones. After an excellent 6 innings from Tom Chmielewski here for the Mariners, his second start on the season.
Believe Chris Latito getting loose. We haven't seen him in probably 7 games.
Yeah, it's been at least a week. The 2-2. Slider swung on and missed. A huge strikeout here for Jalen Jones. The Ohio State product picks up his first punch out of the inning, and Tibbs goes down on strikes for the first time today.
And finally, that's got to be a confidence booster. Jones and Arndt really starting to make the connection as you see them acknowledge each other. Peyton Green's turn now, though. Bases loaded, 1 away.
Well, if you're joining us late, 6 scoreless innings from Tom Chmielewski, the southpaw out of Princeton. Yep, just 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts dealt. Jones now facing his 5th here in the 7th. Bases still loaded. Prime opportunity for a ground ball double play to close it out here. Keep damage off the board. Mariners entered today with an ERA just south of 6. 1-0 for a strike, fastball. Mariners, relatively high strikeout staff as well, entering today with 64 strikeouts. Now up to 70. 1-1 lofted back. It's 1-2. Mariners have been mostly a top 4 hitting team this year, entering today with 70 hits. And the hits have been no issue for the Mariners. Loose ball on the field here. No held ball. Bases still loaded here. 1 away, 1-2 here for Jalen Jones against Peyton Green, hitting the 6-hole today, 0 for 2. 1-2, a slider misses high. It's 2-2. Chance for him to redeem himself here, the NC State middle infielder. Part of an NC State team under Elliott Avent, one of the more active winning coaches for the Wolfpack of the ACC, 2-2 high.
Yeah, Jones really just got to fight here. He's getting so deep into these counts. It's been a really long half inning. Bases still loaded. Got to come to the batter here. Your team's got the cushion, so if he puts it in play, it won't be the worst thing.
3-2. Drilled out to center field. Humphrey giving chase. He makes the catch. Tagging from third will be Austin as he will be on his way and cruising home safely. And the Brewster Whitecaps are on the board here in the top of the 7th at Whitehouse Field, now trailing by 7.
And you have no problem exchanging it out for a run here in the 7th inning when you're up 8. That really just a drop in the entire bucket of water.
Doesn't burn you much as a pinch hitter will come up here for Dylan Leach, the catcher. It'll be Brock Tibbetts, the sophomore of Indiana. And this is a chance here for Tibbetts with 5 RBIs on the season, Devin, to try and slim the margin here. A lot of time left in this one. Jones getting the second out, but the Brewster Whitecaps this season with 32 RBIs, looking to a pinch hitter here to try and give more damage on Jones. Slider flies outside. Tibbetts, the sophomore, native of New Albany, Ohio. He's hit safely in 45 games with the Hoosiers of the Big Ten this season, a .357 batting average in 59 starts in Bloomington. 1-0 slider outside. The slider has not been the most commanding for Jones. It's been more so the fastball. That's why you look to these opportunities to push yourself to get past the summit and get to the mountaintop, even if it just means getting out of an inning without more than 1 run on the board. 2-ball pitch, skips high, gets away from the catcher, Arndt, and sliding over to third is going to be Ike Irish. Ferreira to second as Jones now works with 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, that pitch has got to come down. At least first base is open now thanks to the sac fly, so batter can be selective in Tibbetts. First base is open, but if you get one this game pretty far apart, so it wouldn't hurt to put a swing on it. We'll see what Brewster elects to do and if Jones can find a way to deliver a strike.
Whitecaps have had 40 walks entering tonight. The 3-0. A strike called on the outer half. It's 3-1. Good pitch that time from Jones. So Leach closes out at 0 for 2. Grounded out to short back in the second. Struck out swinging in the 5th. Just a prime opportunity here. The 3-1. Chopped over towards the left side foul. So Jones still battling back here in this count. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. The Brewster Whitecaps trailing the Mariners by 7. Just a hit for the Whitecaps and 7 for Harwich. Brewster getting on the board with the sac fly here. Tibbetts, one of Indiana's top hitters this season, hitting .293 with runners in scoring position for Indiana. The 3-1. Inside, a 5-pitch walk. As Tibbetts, who had certainly earned a good deal of walks in his first 2 seasons with Indiana, shows no hesitation there to take it as the bases are loaded once again with 2 away.
Another bases loaded situation, as you mentioned, Wyatt, and Jones really needs to just get going here, find a way to throw strikes. Let them put it in play. Your defense has been great all night, still without an error, knock on wood, and just got to find a way to get out of this inning with minimal harm.
Now the first pitch to Joe Stella inside. Wareham had 12 runs against Harwich this past week. The Harwich Mariners taking their first trip to Spillane Field. It was a huge inning in the 8th for the Gatemen that time. A single high 6 innings against the Mariners. The 2-0 misses low. Back pick down to first. Not in time. Scannell dropped it. Would have been an invaluable out number 3 here. And the bases have been loaded for what feels like at least a few minutes.
Absolutely. It's been a very long half inning. Brewster trying to chip away at this Harwich lead, but tough right now.
3-0. Inside, that walks in a run as LaStella reaches for the first time today. And it might be the most invaluable as the Whitecaps are putting together a small 2-out spark and now draw to within 6. So Ike Irish will score here. Jaime Ferreira into third, as this will be the 8th batter to come up here for the Whitecaps. As Jalen Jones may have some support on the way sooner rather than later with Chris Latito, the right-hander out of Jacksonville University of the A-Sun, and Jones's day is done. As he still gets a calm applause here at Whitehouse Field. 2 runs thus far in the 7th with 2 away for the Brewster Whitecaps. As we'll step aside, it's Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back live here at Whitehouse Field with 2 away in the top of the 7th inning. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you. Devin, the Harwich Mariners had an 8-run lead going into this frame, but a struggling Jalen Jones, he gets shoot out of the game for Chris Latito of Jacksonville.
I mean, yeah, you just got to feel for the guy. He's just had some serious control problems through his first 2 outings here this season. You really hate to see it for a guy. Of course, this is the most prestigious league, and he's here for a reason. So I'm sure, just a tough little phase for him, and he'll be back at some point.
So Latito stepping on here in his second outing on the season. He had a strikeout in his season debut of 1 1/3 innings at Orleans. He was one of the top closers in the A-Sun Conference this season. But he will face immense pressure right away as he faces Mason White for the first time here today. Jalen Jones only getting 2 outs here in the top of the 7th after a 6-inning scoreless start from the starter and Tom Shimoleski. A curveball dealt to Wright there for strike number 1. Wright today, 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the 3rd, grounded out to second back in the 6th. Bases loaded opportunity here. 0-1, a healthy hack and a miss. It's 0-2.
Tito really just runs and guns, pumps the velocity, pounds the zone, lets hitters put it in play. Not going to have too many strikeouts, but does his job. Really good at doing that.
And he faced 2 seasons at Seton Hall before transferring to Jacksonville. 0-2 high. 2 seasons at Seton Hall, led the NCAA and the A-Sun Conference in saves with 14 this season to tie the second most at a season at Jacksonville. The 1-2. Breaking ball called, looking on the upper half as Wright got frozen up that time. And the final out of the inning is recorded here for Harwich, but not before Brewster tacks on 2 runs here. And on no hits as well, a sacrifice fly and a walk drawing home a run against Jalen Jones, but the Whitecaps still trail 8-2 against the homestanding Mariners going into the home half of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Whitehouse Field. We'll be back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Hunter Fitzgerald due up here against Tyler Mudd, the right-handed reliever for Brewster, stays in the ball game here. 8-2 lead for Harwich going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Hunter Fitzgerald on the evening has yet to get a hit, but did reach on a fielder's choice and a walk around a foul out to third base in the 3rd. Fitzgerald rolls it over to the left side. A spinning play for Hoy, fires on to first, and it's in time. Certainly went all the way around the world that time at the hot corner as there's one away here, and Hunter Fitzgerald still without a hit here on the game.
Yeah, and that's shocking to see after the consistent production we've seen out of him in the middle of the lineup. But really nice play by Hoy to take that hit away. Had to reach for it. It was hit really hard trying to find that third and short gap, and Hoy just cut it off and made a strong throw over.
Swing and a miss here for Kennedy Jones, the Norfolk, Virginia native at 6'1", 212. Back in the lineup today after hitting his first home run and the Mariners' first grand slam this season. That 12-2 win at Orleans. First he'll be protecting here. Struck out swinging in the 1st. And a sacrifice fly back in the 5th to get a 6-run inning for the Mariners that time. Fitzgerald down 5-3. Jones stepping up with no one to work with here. The Mariners ahead by 6. And a swing and a miss that time on a slider from Mudd as the right-hander sends Jones down on strikes. As Jones strikes out for the 2nd time here tonight. The 7th strikeout here for Brewster pitching. And that's been a small element that Brewster's been able to use to get out of particular jams thus far, aside from that 5-4-3 ground out to close out the 6th. So that brings up Ali Camarillo here. Camarillo has found his place at various points of the lineup. Actually led off last night in Katuitt as he fouls this one back. Camarillo at 6'1", 175. 3 of his last 12 with 2 walks and 2 runs in 3 games. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Camarillo just a bit out in front. Has walked twice here tonight, struck out swinging in the 2nd. Mariners stretching 6 runs across in the 5th inning. No long balls, however. The 0-2. Fastball goes high. Mudd lost the hat on the way down.
We got another final. Katuitt back in the win column with a 3-0 victory over Bourne on the road. Bourne struggles continue. They are having a tough start to the year.
1-2. Lined over towards the left side. Hoy, quick rolling, and he's going to fire it into first, and it's going to be in time. A 1-2-3 inning here for Tyler Mudd as the Holy Cross product sends Harwich down in order. Unable to do any more damage are the Mariners going into the 8th inning here from Whitehouse Field. 8-2 lead for the Mariners on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Chris Latito back on the mound for the Mariners after picking up the final out of the 7th, as the Mariners now look to keep the Whitecaps scoreless going into the final 2 innings here. Dylan Hoy coming back up here, made 2 ground ball outs back in the 7th for the Mariners. The final line on Jalen Jones, the first reliever for Harwich here tonight. 2 earned runs on 3 walks, a strikeout. He faced 7 batters, a sacrifice fly, and a walk, scoring Brewster's first 2 runs of the night here. The right-hander of Jacksonville deals, and he misses high for strike number 1, or for ball number 1, rather. Hoy on the night, grounding out twice. Earned a 2-out walk back in the 3rd before he was caught stealing. There's a big swing and a miss. Harwich pitching, getting the strikeouts done here tonight. Latito dealing a backwards K to close out the 7th.
Mariners anticipating the bunt. You got Culpepper playing on the infield grass.
Brewster doesn't show it here. 2-1 on the missed breaking ball from Latito. Mariners got the scoring started in the 3rd inning before a 6-run 5th inning. 2-1. Taken high at the letters. 2-2. The Whitecaps had only 1 runner in scoring position before the 7th inning. A little bit of a blunder from Jalen Jones. A 2-2. Lofted into center field, and making the catch is Jacob Humphrey on the dive. The center fielder out of UMass Lowell wasted no time getting it to it there, as it was falling quicker than ever, and there's 1 away here in the 8th.
Really nice grab, and that thing was tailing. He had to really line it up and time the dive perfectly. Really nice play. Would have been maybe a Little League home run had it gotten by him. So big-time play for Humphrey there.
A quick out here, and right in the line of sight for Jacob Humphreys. He's done such a great job of leading the outfield this season, whether it's been Kennedy Jones or even others in left field. Slider down the middle for strike 1 to Trevor Austin of Missouri.
Another final. Hyannis tops Wareham 4-3.
Well, it's a big loss for Wareham, trying to get into the top of the division. Meanwhile, Yarmouth Dennis losing its top spot. Wareham now going to 4-4-1 on the season. Hyannis climbing to 5-4. 1-1 from Latito, just low. Chatham Anglers are going to be here tomorrow. The Bourne Braves, meanwhile, have continued to struggle. And you consider what the Mariners are doing right now, looking to a lot of early scoring, despite getting 9 unanswered, as that one just missed high. So it's 3-1 here to Austin. Double to right back in the 1st. The Whitecaps hitless since. 3-1. Looped foul down the right field line, 3-2.
Yeah, it is crazy that you're holding this Brewster offense to just 1 hit through 7+. Austin did score the first run of the ball game after being hit by a pitch in the 7th by Jones, and then came around.
Payoff pitch. Served and high out towards left field. Jones going back to the track, and he makes the catch for the second out on allowed out number 2 here in the 8th. And Devin, this is a Brewster lineup that enters with the second most hits coming in today, just trailing Yarmouth Dennis. I think we touched upon it earlier. Brewster with 11 doubles, 6 home runs. The RBI production, meanwhile, has sort of been in the middle of the entire league. So to have 2 runs, maybe not the most surprising, but you're certainly looking for more hitting here, as you said, with 1 on the board.
I mean, yeah, I was expecting this to be a slugfest. I thought we were going to get a 9-8 ball game, but instead Brewster's bats have just been asleep. I mean, you take out that inning from Jones with the control struggles, and this is still an 8-0 game. Brewster with just the 1 hit.
Ike Irish coming home to score on a walk back in the 7th. 1-0. Tapped high over towards the right side, charging on King. Underhand toss, and it's in time. A 1-2-3 job here for Chris Latito. The Jacksonville product made quick work to close out the 7th, and he makes it quick here in the 8th as well. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners at 8-2 in favor of the homestanding Mariners here at Whitehouse Field. Going into the home half of the 8th here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. On to the bottom of the 8th here at Whitehouse Field. 8-2 lead for the Harwich Mariners at 5-3 on the season, fighting with the Brewster Whitecaps, both a half game out of first here as Matt Scannell, the Princeton product, steps up against a new pitcher in here for Brewster, a southpaw in Brendan Lysick. Texas Tech product deals the first pitch at the letters for strike number 1. Lysick at Texas Tech this season, pitching no more than 2 1/3 innings against Florida in a regional down in Gainesville. Just back Scannell off the plate here. So an 8-2 lead for Harwich over Brewster. A 6-run 5th inning for the Mariners, giving them a lot of stability here. Low to Scannell. Watch that one with ease. Scannell on the day started 0 for 2 before doubling to right field back in the 5th. That scored 2 runs, part of that 6-run 5th inning for the Mariners. He's ahead in the count here, 2-1 against Lysick. This season at a 3.48 ERA, 2-1 clipping the outer half.
Really
it's going to go to 2-2. It's a really nice pitch, that fastball. You consider 8 runs on 7 hits here, holding Brewster, one of the top hitting teams in the league this season, to just 1 hit. Certainly have to demand more out of yourself, knowing it's not over yet, given that you still have 3 outs to work with here. 6 runs of insurance certainly looks like a lot, but it's never over until it's really over. And for a guy like Scannell, you of course want to see that elevation, both for your individual progress, but for what you set up for other guys in the lineup as well. Lefty-righty battle here, the 3-2. Skied out towards foul territory on the first base side. Stella makes the catch. There's 1 away here. as Scannell drops to 2 for 4 here today. 1 for 4, rather.
The catcher from UNC Wilmington.
And it looks like no movement really in the Harwich bullpen, so Latito going to go and try and slam the door with another 3 outs in the ninth. He's been fantastic, 4 up, 4 down, and was able to end Jones's jam.
6 runs in the 5th inning, a single season high for Harwich, despite having 4 runs in an inning on multiple instances. That one low to Brian Arndt, UNC Wilmington product. Returning Harwich Mariner this season, attended Holly Springs High School. Inside, just off the glove of the catcher and Leach. And for Arndt, he's been off to a solid start this season. 5 hits, 4 walks, 4 RBIs. 1 for 3 with a pair of walks in that 10-run win at Orleans to get the Mariners back in the win column. That one watched at, and it's going to go to 2-1 here. Arndt had 3 hits for a college high against Towson last season before getting to Harwich. Made his debut in mid-July here last year. That's another nice pitch that time from the lefty, and it's going to go to 2-2.
Yeah, these proximate rivals always know how to put on a show, although tonight it's been all Harwich.
2-2 to Arndt. Served into center field, and it drops for a base hit. Second hit of the day here for Brian Arndt after an infield single back in the 5th, as the Mariners get their 8th hit on the evening and their first since the 6th.
He's been another really nice surprise this season. I talked about it earlier, but hit just 174 last season for Harwich, and now he's hitting close to 350. Really nice when you're getting out of the bottom of the lineup. And your catcher. But back to this little proximate rivalry here. You know, you think Harwich, anytime you can beat Brewster, it's good because they've knocked you out of the postseason the last 2 seasons, of course, when they went on to win 2 years ago and when they were able to knock them out in the first round last year. So you want to try and get your kicks in now, stop them lower in the division, and then wait for August to come.
21 combined runs over the last 2 road games for Harwich. Obi watches that one inside. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Harwich ahead 8-2. Obi, the rising junior at Duke. 14 starts and 47 appearances this season as he lofts it into left field, and it's going to drop foul. The entire Harwich bullpen wanted it to stay fair. Nonetheless, Obi didn't really have any wind blowing in from left field to keep it that way. So instead of an extra base hit here for Harwich, a potential 9th run, still a man on first here with 1 away. That kind of night here at Whitehouse Field. It was a tension-filled opening day for the Mariners to get a 4-3 win over the top-hitting team in the Cape Cod Baseball League in the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Obi hitting .232 for the Blue Devils this season. Just held up on that one. A lot of athleticism in the family for Duke. His dad, Terry, played football at Oregon from 1986 to 1990, then in the NFL. 3-1 keeps him in the count here. I think he won that one. So it'll be a payoff pitch here to Obi. Got his first hit with the double back in the 3rd. Came around to score on an RBI hit from Seaver King. And the payoff inside. So Obi works a walk here after getting his season debut last night in Katuitt. He was 0 for 4. It's his 2nd walk on the season. Runners in scoring position here in Bryant Arts. And Obi, you take that as a confidence-inducing plate appearance. You're able to fight back. You were able to, just despite getting that extra base hit down the left field line, find a way to reach here.
And that's pivotal. And the fact that Coach Engler put him in the ball game after the Golden Sombrero says a lot about his confidence in Obi, who's really bounced back here tonight.
Has the speed on the base pass as well. Something that you really value for a Harwich team that has been great as of late, as of stealing bases and just finding ways to move runners over. It's been a huge quality that was missing for a little bit of time early last week when the Mariners lost 2-1 here against Falmouth, in addition to that 12-1 win, rather loss against Wareham. 1-1 here to Jacob Humphrey. Runners on first and second here for Harwich. Aren't on second. OB on first. 8-2 lead. Huge slider swung on and missed. Boy, does that look nasty when it drops off the table. I mean, can you imagine a more deceiving pitch?
I was going to say, I mean, just when you think you got it barreled up going 400 to center, and then it just falls right off.
The 1-2. Taken high at the letters for strike 3. 2 away here in the 8th.
Third time that Humphrey has struck out looking tonight. Really just being a little too selective up there. And when you got a leadoff hitter, you can't watch him go down looking because got to help the rest of the lineup. And Humphrey, unfortunately, tonight, not doing a great job of that. But he has reached base twice, so still seeing pitches and having quality at-bats.
Up to Seaver King here. Watches a slider down the pipe for strike 1. King 4 for 4 here tonight, drawing a ton of excitement around this Mariners lineup. One swing of the bat, he's a chance to put some extra insurance runs on here. That won't be it there as it's 0-2. King now with an 8-game on-base streak. Harwich looking for a solid win here. It's on the verge right now. Just one more chance to try and stretch the lead before it's lax list for Brewster. 0-2. Roped foul down the right side. Now Harwich, with 17 wins last season, certainly looking to cap off Steve Englert's season that he gets 400 wins with some sense of advancement. But that's still a long ways away here as the Harwich Mariners have a long stretch of games coming up. And the 0-2. Line down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Seaver King having every way here today. Scoring standing up, Brian Arntz. Obi will stop at third on a 2-out double from the new Wake Forest product. And Seaver King continues to do no wrong as the Mariners have more traffic on the base pass and in a 9-2 lead here in the 8th.
5 hits in a ball game is absurd. I mean, he really is just locked in, trying to find the most hits in a game for the Mariners. We'll try and get that stat for you. But, yeah, this has just been fantastic baseball for Seaver King. He's really just doing everything he can to move the line, and it's been fun to watch, that's for sure.
Devin, I'll tell you this. If there weren't 2 outs on the board, you might think that Devin Obi, with the speed he has a chance to come home and score, given that the ball was hit a little awkwardly down the right field line. This one going inside, shedding the mask. Leach. Two in scoring position here for Harwich. Obi on third, King on second after the 2-out RBI base knock. And rather it's Tibbetts behind the plate. It's unbelievable. Rather it's James Tibbetts behind the plate. We beg your pardon. Another nice breaking ball that time to Kalen Culpepper, the Kansas State product. 2-0 here.
And Wyatt, you know how fun this game must be when you're 9 for your last 10? You know how fun a baseball game is when you're that hot?
It's certainly confidence-inducing. 2-0. Bang back behind home plate. So Brendan Lysick, similarly to what Jalen Jones had faced with 2 outs in the 7th, just not getting the outs that he needs here. Has a strikeout thus far here after relieving Tyler Mudd. 2-1. Looped into right field. Ferrer going back just in front of the track and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But the Mariners scratch across an extra run thanks to a 2-out RBI base hit from Seaver King. He goes to 5 for 5 on the day. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on as Brewster comes up for its last chances here in the 9th, trailing 9-2 at Whitehouse Field. Back in a moment here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Well, this one in a 7-run difference between the Harwich Mariners and the Brewster Whitecaps, teams meeting for the first time on the season. Chris Latito back on the mound here, looks to be trying to finish this one off against the Brewster team on the verge of falling to 4-3-2 on the season. So within relative reach of top spot in the Cape Cod East Division standings, despite the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox falling to 5-3 and out of that first place. One all the way to the Jaime Ferrer in. It's going to be 1-1 here. Ferrer on the day, still yet to collect a hit. Grounded out to first to start it off. Lofts it foul. Scannell going back in foul territory. Makes the catch just in front of the dirt. Matt Scannell getting it done with the bat, and most oftentimes than not this season, and that time able to make out number one on a pretty graceful catch as well, Devin.
Yeah, no, that's a really nice job to track that ball, battling the lights as well into foul territory. You got to worry about the fence and everything. Scannell tracks it down there. Now you're 2 outs away from first place in the East. And Wyatt, I think we keep overlooking there's only been 1 hit for the Whitecaps in this ball game, and there was a second batter. If we go back in time and that doesn't happen, we could be in a very different situation right now.
Well, still 2 outs to work with here for Brewster. 2 runs on 1 hit for the Whitecaps. A walk and a sacrifice fly responsible. Just outside here to James Tibbs, the other Florida State product in the lineup here. Latito getting them down in order back in the 8th. He tries to do that here as well in the 9th after getting a strikeout looking to close out the 7th. Latito has faced 5 batters here thus far after Jalen Jones faced 8. 2-1. Rolled over towards the right side. Scannell having a little bit of trouble, still tries to pick up it, and it's going to be in time. Scannell almost getting stuck in the mud that time. Latito was able to help him there, and the Princeton and Jacksonville products link up for the second out here in the inning.
How about Latito? 6 up, 6 down. He's really coming into this ball game and cemented himself as a dominant reliever against a hot Brewster lineup. Of course, not today, but speaking in general, got to be really pleased if you're angler to know you got an arm like that in Latito.
A right-hander who has a strong deal of longevity in his first 2 outings thus far after going 1 1/3 innings against Orleans. Not this past Sunday, but the prior one. The Mariners taking that one convincingly. 0-1 low and inside. Latito 23 1/3 innings with 36 strikeouts to 13 walks at Jacksonville this season. Mentioned earlier, leading the A-Sun in saves at 14. 1-1 spiked back behind home plate. Led the season with 14 saves in the NCAA during the regular season. 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA. And he can go pretty long as well. 46 pitches against Creighton last year. 1-2. Line into center field for a base hit past Camarillo. And the Brewster Whitecaps have their second hit on the day as it comes for the first time in 8 innings after a 1-out double from Trevor Austin in the first.
Yeah, the revenge game for Peyton Green, and he just lines that one up the middle. Pretty nice for the stat sheet, but not sure how much they're going to be able to do with just the 1 out trailing by 7.
Brock Tibbetts coming back up for the second time here today. Filling the catcher in Dylan Leach. Closed out at 0-2 today. Works with a runner on here. 7-run deficit for the Whitecaps. Fastball, a strike on the outer half. Tibbetts had a standout season at Indiana this year. Still not over here from Whitehouse Field. No save opportunity, of course, for Latito, but he bounces one there. All it takes is 1 hit to get the line going, despite it being a 2-out rally to be put together here. But the Whitecaps have not converted on much here today, to say the least. The 1-0, check swing, first base umpire in Matt Chamberlain says no.
Just waiting on this thing to be wrapped up at this point. Mariners can taste first place. Nice hot start to the season.
It was a 2-1 win as that one gets away from Brian Art behind home plate. So that'll send Green into second here after he gets his first hit on the night. Just a wild pitch that time. 2-1 victory for the Chatham Anglers over the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Orleans Firebirds now final from the Falmouth Commodores. 5-4 on the road. A big win for the Firebirds trying to get out of the bottom of the standings. There's a big swing and a miss. And the Brewster Whitecaps are down to their final strike here. 2 away. Runner in scoring position here in Peyton Green. Tom Shimoleski with 6 scoreless innings in his second start on the season. He's in line for the win. The payoff pitch, and it's low. Latito misses him this time as the vacant base goes filled, and there's runners on first and second here.
Yep, just making it interesting. Latito wants to face another batter. No problem with that. Just got to handle this guy.
First baseman from Barry, number 42, Joe.
The Barry producted Joe LaStella steps back up here as Tibbetts reaches for the second time here today. Walks have been a slight concern for the Mariners pitching staff. 5 combined now between Latito on the mound, Jones, who went 2/3 of an inning back in the 7th, and the 6 innings of a start from Tom Shimoleski. A 1-0. A strike there. It's 1-1. Stella 4 for 14 this season, a pair of RBIs. Mariners not done yet here. Lined over towards the left side and through for a base hit. That's going to draw one home to score in Peyton Green. Behind him is going to be another in Tibbetts as a 2-out RBI base hit. Helps Brewster out a little bit here in the bottom of the ninth, not at the top of the ninth, I should say. And it's a 6-run deficit still for Brewster.
Yeah, now you got to go against the 9-hitter. He's 0 for 3. Got to just find your way to end this ball game where it is. Don't want to get your pitch count up because Latito has pitched well up until he ran into trouble with Peyton Green. And the Mariners are going to for sure want him available in the near future the way he has looked in his first 2 outings.
2-out RBI hit here for Stella as Mason White steps in here for the 4th time today. Big swing and a miss on a fastball. And if it's the guy you want up here in Latito, it's definitely going to be White. Victim of 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Grounded out as well. Now the Whitecaps down their final strike again. Still a big spot here for Brewster to leave with at least a couple more runs on the board, if not for a come-from-behind victory. 0-2. Served out towards left field in the glove of Jones, and the ball game is over. 9-3 victory for the Mariners. They've won 3 straight. Chris Latito closes it out on the mound for the Mariners with 2 solid innings as the Mariners scored 9 runs on 9 hits. Brewster with 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error committed. Getting the win, Tom Shimoleski, despite it getting interesting in the 9th against Latito. 9-3 for the Mariners as they win 3 straight and take first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. We'll step away for a moment and be back with the post-game coverage on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Well, it's a 9-3 victory here for the Harwich Mariners at Whitehouse Field. They continue to stay in the win column. 3 straight wins for the Mariners, 2 on the road, 1 here at home. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you from the broadcast booth of Whitehouse Field. Devin, it was a convincing 6-inning scoreless start from Tom Shimoleski. He's tonight's player of the game here for the Mariners. You consider what he was able to do in just getting batter after batter gone. At one point, it was more than 5 straight retired.
6 strong innings. That's back-to-back 6-inning performance for him. Unfortunately, he was credited with a loss in his first game, despite only allowing 2 runs. The Mariners couldn't provide the offense. They lost 2-1. Tonight, they put up 9 runs, help him get his first win, and very much deserved. Surrendered just the 1 hit. Struck out 5, 1 walk. He was sensational. Tom Shimoleski, player of the game, hands down.
Well, you consider what Harwich got with a lot of stability out of the start of the Princeton product, but to consider someone at second base had his back all night long on the defensive alignment, but you also look at what Seaver King did with 5 hits. He had that late 2-run RBI double, and it was almost ridiculous with how that went down the right field line.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's what Seaver King's doing. He's having a lot of fun playing baseball here on the Cape, and just transferred to Wake Forest. Everything's coming up Seaver right now. 9 for his last 10. He's been on base 10 of the last 11 times he's come to the plate. Just, you can't ask for much more out of Seaver King. His defense has been unbelievable. Sliding plays, we saw a glove flip out of him today. He's just been up and down, things on the score sheet, things not on the score sheet, just doing everything right. Really been impressed with what we've seen from Seaver King.
9-3 the final for the Harwich Mariners here against the Brewster Whitecaps. First meeting on the season as Harwich takes control of first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. The Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox falling to the Chatham Anglers 2-1, which will come to Whitehouse Field tomorrow to take on the Harwich Mariners. First time on the season after it was rescheduled after Friday's cancellation. Devin, what's next for this Harwich Mariners team?
Just keep the pedal to the metal. I'm going to say it. The last 4 games have been really strong. I'm going to include the YD game because other than that 9th inning when you had a yucky outing from Marsh, if you scratch that, they've played 4 really good baseball games. They've gotten the bats going. You think all the way back to the Bourne game even. They've really just been hot. Nothing you can complain about with the offense. The defense is getting there. No errors today, which is nice. You get a clean game out of them. But the offense is clicking. 5 hits out of Seaver King was more than half of your 9, so the rest of the lineup's got to start to catch up with him. But, hey, you'll take the 9 runs. It really helps the way you've been doing things, and, yeah.
You mentioned the lineup catching up to Seaver King, who has been outstanding, formerly of Wingate of Division II baseball, now at Wake Forest. The lineup has started to percolate, particularly on the road. Harwich getting a 9-4 win at Catuit last night. 2 nights ago, getting a 12-2 victory at Eldridge Park at the expense of the Orleans Firebirds' second visit in 1 week. Harwich maintaining that strong hitting at home this season, hitting .303. It's been a little bit below on the road, but Harwich doesn't have to look to that weakness tomorrow.
Yeah, and it'll be a good test to do it. Chatham, a team who just beat the best team in the East, and Harwich team who just beat the best team in the West, and now Harwich going to be the top dog, going to be the first time to defend the crown since over a week ago. So looking forward to that opportunity, and you know, if they can keep the bats going, the defense has been there, so it should be a good battle with the Anglers.
Harwich takes it 9-3 here at Whitehouse Field. 3rd straight win for the Mariners. Steve Englert, well past 400 wins on the season now. 9 hits for the Mariners, just 3 hits, 2 coming in the 9th inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. For my broadcast partner, Devin Dobeck, and for our producer, Sean Sears, guiding us through all night once again, I'm Wyatt Kopelman saying so long. The Mariners take it 9-3 and move to 6-3 on the season, top place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. We'll be back tomorrow, first pitch at 6:30 against the Chatham Anglers here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube